Hello and welcome everybody to this game of the I-League Season number 2. This is the Southeast Asian qualifier, first departure versus CSW Kansai Whips in this best of 3 series. It is the round of 16, so after this best of 3 you have to win 3 more best of 3s to actually qualify for the league. Of course, pretty much every single Southeast Asian team is taking part of this as well, so it's not going to be easy by any means. Team Malaysia unfortunately did already forfeit against Couchor just because they also had Star Ladder to play at the same time. But man, lots of teams are here. First departure, Couchor, Genesis, MVP, Phoenix, Execration, and teams as such, Rave of course as well. But we are in the draft now. Hallelujah for that.
Ban.
As CSW looks like they are the team with the first ban here in this round. But Death Prophet, the
Radiant
first ban, of course
ban.
it makes sense when just such a strong hero, and I do have to say as well that coming into this first departure they are definitely the favorites. I mean, some would even probably rate them Southeast Asia's best at this point in time. And yesterday they played a tiebreaker in the joint of the league between each other, where first departure also came out ahead of CSW. So, I mean, historically probably first departure have the upper hand, but anything can happen. I mean, it's not like CSW, they're not a capable team or anything. Also, CSW, most of them being from Australia, they are maybe playing with a little bit more lag than first departure is, so that's also something that you have to take into consideration, even if by a little bit. But first departure themselves, banning out a Tide Hunter. So what will the next ban even be? Is it going to be something like a Miracle Just Respect Naga ban? But nope, not going to be that one. Instead, first departure banning out the Naga themselves. I do believe it was rather similar to how the game went yesterday as well. Just banning out the Naga Siren by first departure. And well, we'll see what first departure wants to go for. Yesterday they utilized an Enigma so damn efficiently, to be honest, so we'll see if we're gonna see something like that again. But what can be the first pick here? Vengeful, Spirit, Jack Hero, Ogre Magi, maybe a Skyrack, although I don't think it's picked up as the first one too often these days anymore by really anybody.
5 seconds remaining.
But it's going to be a Lycan first pick.
Radiant team
then.
pick.
I mean, I guess taking an aggressive pushing route definitely might not be the worst idea, especially if they could grab their hands on the Jakiro of the second pick. Maybe even something like Venomancer to follow up as well. Although, first departure themselves, I do believe ran the Venomancer themselves last time around. Was even maybe solo late lane. But starting with an Elder Titan and a Bat Rider as well. I mean, Elder Titan pretty good for just counter pushing Astral Spirit through. And Flame Breaker follow usually enough to kill the entire creep wave already. Also, just Elder Titan all in all, pretty damn strong hero. Natural Order is just so hard to deal with, like anything to deal with. But Vengeful Spirit will be the pick down for them instead. So, Lycan and Vengeful Spirit definitely a good combination, just kind of allows you to go for earlier Roshians. Because you will have that minus armor to work with, and not only that, the Vengeance Aura boosting up the Lycan even more, just Feral Impulse, just from his own passive. Then of course followed by the Vladimir's Offering, and
5 seconds
to just top it all off, it's gonna be the Vengeance Aura as well. But
reserve time.
We'll see what the next heroes will be. Something like an Ogre Magi probably should get banned out, maybe by either side even. Although, yes, Enigma banned out by CSW. They don't want to see first departure get there, just hands on that hero once again. But Skyrock Mage might be a worthwhile pick as well. I mean, Lasso into just Mystic Flare, even enough to kill off a Lycan in most cases, I would believe.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
12. First departure now, what do they ban out themselves? I still think Ogre would be a fairly decent ban, but banning out the Brewmaster, I cannot believe I even failed just to see that that hero actually was still in the pool. So used to just either it getting picked up in the first phase or just it being banned out. But Brewmaster definitely a worthwhile ban, would just create a lot of space in the just mid game with the team fights. You pop the Primal Split, and well, even if the Lycan wants to fight, it's still gonna be helpful to have the Primal Split there, just create some chaos so the Lycan can just go around running and right click. Or just you go for the fight with the rest of the 4 and then Lycan split pushes. But Broodmother banned out by first departure, it's definitely a strong combination with the Lycan, just howl into all the spiderlings and everything. So Centaur is the Centaur. How do they run this? Is it a core Centaur? Is it a mid lane Batrider or something like that? Or is it like a pure jungling Batrider now for first departure? I guess they might be running a safe lane Centaur, farm up a really fast blink dagger for herself. Just to make it so that every time Lycan wants to push, you just blink, hoof stomp, double edge, kill him off before he can even shapeshift. Or if he shapeshifts, you might have enough damage like straight after anyway, something along those lines.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be somewhat hard.
Reserve time.
Maybe. We shall see. Ogre Magi will be the pick for them though.
Radiant team
So
pick.
I can't say it's all that surprising. Ogre Magi and Vengeful Spirit, but whoa, what do we see here? What do we have, guys? A Spirit Breaker for first departure. I guess he can kind of keep up with Lycan with the Charge of Darkness. How much actually is the maxed out? 750 movement speed, so he can catch up to Lycan with the Charge of Darkness even. Pretty much the only hero who could do so, I think, but man, it's one way to go about things, of course. That does mean that they have extremely tanky heroes, the Centaur and the Spirit Breaker. Elder Titan, reasonably so, not the tankiest of heroes though. At least you cannot compare it to a Spirit Breaker or Centaur generally. But first of all, what do they have in store for us now? I guess Elder Titan might be the support. They're running rather melee heavy, so a Viper to pick up, definitely not a bad one for CSW at this point. Just a tanky hero who will probably be able to survive through the magic damage of the Centaur first of all. Also just Viper strikes galore onto Spirit Breaker and Centaur. Centaur, unless it blinks just perfectly onto the target and gets the hoof stomp immediately, you might just get Viper struck and not be able to catch up, unless you have Stampede to follow, of course. First departure, fifth ban is going to be the Nature's Prophet, so still they want to minimize the pushing power coming out from CSW, although Jakiro could also be a fairly decent offlane candidate for them if they want to go for it. Just Viper mid, Vengeful Ogre, or although you could go for like a Viper, Vengeful Ogre, aggressive try, have the Lycan mid lane and then leave that Jakiro safe lane, who will be up against like an offlane Bat or Centaur, but should do fairly fine for themselves. I guess Batrider would be a bit annoying to deal with, but a Witch Doctor, the last ban from DSW, I guess it could have been the pick for them. I mean, Paralyzing Cask is annoying, just it stuns creeps for longer than it does heroes as well, so it would slow down the push if it gets the bounce through all of them, but if there's like an entire creep wave with Necrobooks and the wolves as well, it's not going to do all that much, but I don't know, we'll see. Of course, just Death Ward, Voodoo Restoration to keep them alive. The Death Ward into that natural order of the Elder Titan, of course, as well, is pretty damn strong.
Reserve time.
But first departure, they are known to run slightly weird lineups and still somehow make it work for themselves. This time around though, I have to say, CSW's lineup looks extremely standard and pretty damn strong at it as well. The first departure, about a minute and a half left for the last pick. I have no idea how the hell they're going to do this. I guess they could even run something like a support Centaur with like Spirit Breaker core, but I highly doubt we're going to see that happen, unfortunately, but I still doubt it's going to happen. Oh, the time is ticking down for first departure. They could grab their hand. Never mind, I think Spirit Breaker and Elder Titan will be the support still with... Is it Centaur or Batrider mid against the Lycan then though? The laning won't be the greatest, or I still think it might be like Batrider straight into the jungle as well, I guess. It's not going to be as fast or as efficient as you would think. But if the supports are the supports, stack up the rest of the jungle for you, it's still going to be worthwhile. And they go for a Razor after some pretty long consideration. So late game, just prowess wise, first departure might find themselves a little bit lacking, especially due to the just supporting cast of CSW as well. Ogre Magi with the Aghanim Scepter level 3 multicast can easily solo kill heroes, to be honest, if he gets just a little bit lucky. Vengeful Spirit, although he cannot solo kill people most of the time, with the Vengeance Aura helping out in the teams, with just the swaps away from the Batrider, for example, might just be worthwhile.
5 seconds remaining.
So Razor, a lot will hinge upon his success here in this game. I mean, Stat Link
Reserve
definitely will be
time.
good against Lycan, although Lycan can kind of outrun it or try to outrun it. It's still nice against Viper as well. So might be Razor mid lane then? I still don't know how the hell are they gonna lane this? Especially if they, let's say, have a Razor, Spirit Breaker, Elder Titan tie lane. Or, well, let's say they have a Centaur, Spirit Breaker, Elder Titan safe lane tri lane. And CSW goes aggressive with Ogre, Vengeful Viper. What the hell is that tri lane gonna do? I mean, they're pretty tanky, all of them strength heroes, but it would still make it unbearably hard. At this point though, might we consider something like a Timber Saw against this many melee heroes, all of them strength as well? Timber Saw wouldn't be the worst kind of pickup, I believe. There isn't like a crazy amount of lockdown either on first departure. I guess Nether Strike can be pretty strong in some cases like that. If you get lucky enough with the bashes, maybe so as well, but they would either have to use a less so on you, which would mean Lycan can just roam freely, or a hoof stomp, which pretty much means the same thing. So 16 seconds.
10 seconds remaining.
What's it going to be? It's going to be a puck instead. I guess it's a solid enough hero. Somebody who can actually dodge this charge of darkness. Something if need be with that phase shift. And well, even puck in the later stage of the game still pretty relevant. Dream Coil, excellent ability against Stampede of the Centaur as well. You can probably or possibly escape the Battle Royale initiation. Once he comes in, immediately phase shift, maybe build a Yule Scepter for yourself as well. Once the phase shift ends, you pop the Waning Rift, so the Battle Royale cannot even lasso you after that. But as we get into the game, we have that customary start of the game pause. It's kind of a greeting, let's say. But to introduce the lineups, Lobby playing the Centaur Warrunner with Hana on the Elder Titan, Miracle playing the Razor with Polosan on the Battle Royale, and Aluka Kai playing the Spirit Breaker as the go has been given, but for the side of the Dire. CSW can't say whips, Freedom playing the Vengeful Spirit with Chains on the Lycan, Godot playing the Ogre with 2D on the puck, and the last one will be Musica on what I can guess is going to be a mid lane Viper maybe. Maybe they are still going for an aggressive tri lane. I guess it sure looks like it at this point. I mean, Chains is heading towards the mid lane, has himself a Stout Shield as well as a Ring of Protection, so he comes rather prepared. Up against Razor, it's still going to be somewhat annoying for him, of course. Once he gets more points into the Wolves, it's going to be a little bit easier. But before that, I wouldn't just favor his chances in this lane. Probably not going to die, or at least he shouldn't die just purely to a Razor. But that's not going to mean that this lane isn't going to be pretty damn annoying for him nonetheless. But now Godot and Musica, they are on the hunt for something. They do have Aluka standing nearby, which I'm not too sure if is it a core Centaur like this? I guess Polosan is clearing up the jungle already. He's trying to, or probably will try to at the very least, just pull through to the mid lane early on. Lobby also on Spirit Breaker, so they're switching up the roles a little bit. Usually Kai and Lobby are the supports, well, but since they're running a jungle, I guess
The battle
Polosan is the Battle Royale player more often than not. So Lobby picking the 5 position role for himself, but he is charging something already. Hana, he was battling up with Puck and 2D, might still be in some sort of illusory cooldown for another 4 seconds. I think it's going to be safe since Charge of Darkness doesn't do any damage at all since you don't have any points into the bash, Crater Bash. So kind of just maybe a slight waste of mana, maybe trying to instill fear into the Puck. Mid lane now though, Chains. I mean, I guess nobody has really any lasties at the moment because the creeps haven't been there for too long. But Freedom, he sees the trees have been cut down. Static Link already used, only sees 14 points of damage, but mid lane, can the gank work out from Godot and Freedom? They want to go in Lobby, he's around, but how much can he actually do? Charge of Chains now, Charge of Godot instead, could have been a little bit, there's the fire back, that's gonna be first blood as well. Chains, the one to pick it up on the Lycan, that could not have gone any better for them. If Lobby had charged Chains, maybe with getting a stun on all of them would have been enough. But other than that, I'm not too sure. Still really well done by the CSW coming in like that. So if they get off to a good start, they're going to be able to just maybe snowball out of control completely with just the Lycan killing the pushes, going in everything. And in the bottom lane, Viper, he's so far been solo up against the Centaur, and well, Centaur, he is getting dominated.
Dire's courier
0 and
has
1
been
as the
killed.
Dire's courier gets sniped, so that's a good sign at least. Oda's struggling somewhat as well against Poloson's just sticky napalm spam. But, whoa, Poloson even gets hit by the Satyr Tormentor shockwave now. And, oh, never mind. Did the Couchor get the last hit for this one? Sure looks like it at this point. But yeah, this bottom lane, man, Centaur, he is getting so dominated, and Freedom being there as well. Lobby can't do anything though. They really went for a weird lineup and they are paying the price for it. At least Poloson is level 2 now on the Batrider, so makes jungling a little bit easier, but a little bit easier doesn't make it quite easy yet. This is really going to be rather hard for first departure with just the laning phase that they have. Razor of course mid lane, although Chains got the first blood, lasted wise, still absolute dominance, so I guess it kind of evens out the bottom lane. Although top lane is well better, they're not getting too much accomplishment 4 and 0, but Miracle 13 and 10 compared to Chains 3 and 1 on the Lycan now. I guess it's kind of to be expected the Lycan won't be having a too great of a time, but I would have expected him to have a little bit more, especially with the first blood that he got. And he's not even going for the bottle by the looks of it. Of course the courier is dead as well, so that maybe have been like something to affect this decision there. But in any case, everybody just keeps on farming. Both sides have 1 kill each. And well, oh, they might get another kill. Who's the top miss from Kaido? The charge pushes Freedom to the low ground even. So that was kind of a fail gank. I mean, nice attempt, but a fail gank nonetheless. Ana in the meantime, 11 and 2 on the other side, and level 4 already. Oh man, I just cannot play with this zoom level. It's just too bad. The one zoom level out must have some overview of things, man. Must have some overview as a caster. Nice. Well, Veracruz still around mid lane, number 1 in network. Who cares what network lasts? It's much more important this early on in the game. Ana, he's gonna lose his life. Echo Stomp, not quite enough to save him. 2D picks up the kill just as the courier respawns. So really nice kill on the enemy offlaner there. Musica still harassing the center quite heavily. So Kai, Aluka only up to 6 lasted.
Not for you.
Mid lane though, Chains, the charge is coming. Although he should be far enough under his tower that I don't think Spirit Breaker wants to go in too deep. He has 1 point into Crater Bash, so I guess maybe if he gets a little bit lucky with the next bashes to follow. Miracle gonna come in as well, the charge gets cancelled just before it connects. At least he gets to the mid lane, I guess. He has full mana since he started the charge in the jungle. Not the jungle, the fountain, what am I saying? Freedom though, does get spotted out. He did place the observer, not too sure if that particular thing was scouted or not. As Poloson up to 1.2k also, doing fairly well for himself, level 4.5 or just about to hit level 4.5. So not doing all that bad, of course, if he wants to just straight off rush the Blink Dagger after the boots.
Dire's top
I'll have to
tower
back
is
all the way
under
home now
attack.
to reach him up, but not that big of a deal. Lobby gonna help him out as well with stacking up one of the big camps. So if he continues at this pace, gonna have a pretty nicely timed Blink Dagger. Also Hana, although he died, he's still getting a fair amount out of the offlane. Is well, still nothing compared to music, of course. Who's going for a straight off mech? Gonna go for the buckler first. 28 lasted, 99. On par with Miracle's Razor in the mid lane, who has a double damage rune. If only they had more lockdown for Chains, especially now that he's about to hit level 6. Things are gonna get infinitely harder to get a kill like that. They kind of need less soap for this, or maybe like Nether Strike usage as well. Just some more burst would be favorable. Hana top lane, just echo stomping through. Gonna get torched by 2D anyway, who was up to 24 lives himself with his own. So not doing all that bad. Bottom lane now, Lobby, he's coming in with the charge onto Musica. Can't even get the kill. I mean, 1 point to go to system, might just enough healing service there as well. Another hit, no back control, and there's Golden. Wanna go for the top, Kai. The Rooftop cannot even come out at all. He gets the Rooftop only on the Golden, so Freedom might be in some trouble though. Although he's still alive. 2 stacks of sticky napalm, no third one to come out, and Paulson has to escape as Spirit Breaker loses his life as well. That was another fail gank, 4-1. CSW, it's just looking better and better for them. First part, they're trying to go for some aggression.
Dire's bottom
It's
tower
just a
is
Spirit
under
Breaker top
attack.
lane. Hana, he got Dream Core, but 2D by himself. Not so sure if he has enough. Waning Rift came out, Illusion Robe as well. Hana running the wrong direction. He has a TP, but I highly doubt he's going to be able to escape this. The charge is coming up through the Echo Stop. Oh, nice try, but it's not enough in the end. Tweet drops even lower still. Charge is coming, but he has a healing cell, has Pollen charging. He is going to be perfectly fine. There is no chance that he's going to die from this one charge. He even dodges it, so even harder. Miracle does come in now, though. Not too sure what he is trying to accomplish. Maybe they were really hoping to just land the kill on 2D like that, but... So 1-5. The CSW off to a rather great start, at least as far as kills are concerned. Paulson, since he tried to go for the kill as well, hasn't been able to farm up at the same time. Does have a double stack here though. Unfortunately, mod golems, but can run into this stack instead if he wants to. Still not enough stacks for him to get that immediate blink dagger with this farming just phase. Or this farming wave, I don't know. Mid lane or bottom lane rather, Kai is still struggling for farm. 11 last hits only on the center. 6 is about to hit level 6, but there's the fire dash. He might go down. There's the Viper Sack as well. No stampede to get him to safety. And that's going to be yet another kill. Just the laning choices mostly are dominating here for CSW. Paulson all the way back
Radiant's
to home once again. Up to
bottom tower is under
1.8k
attack.
gold, so needs only another 400 more. We'll make
Radiant
it almost 500 that he
structures are
purchases a TP
fortified.
scroll as well. Still not all that bad if just somebody was there to stack up the camps for them. Lobby, he's just running around level 8 minutes in, he's not even level 3 on the Spirit Breaker. And you can't need levels, but there's TNT, not even that's gonna be easy. With the charge coming through a little bit too late and now Lobby, he might be the one to get it. Does connect, trying to just turn his tail, but the Stampede Fire Blast keeps him in place. So make it 8-1. This is pretty much as disastrous as I've seen first departures laning get for quite some time. So 8-1. Let's look at the early graphs as well. Already a 3k network lead, XP about 4k even. So CSW looking extremely good. They're gonna have the mech finish the dueling. Yes, just as I said that he has the mech done. Does need power trades or just some stats, a point booster, anything to actually be able to sustain the mech, Viper Strike and the poison attacks as well. Because at the moment doesn't even have enough for a mech. Well, now he does. But one poison attack and he won't have it once again. As Lobby, he's going for the counter. Is he even going to get it before the time's out? Yes, he is. Man, that was 4 seconds. This sentry might have been completely wasted. He, of course, I don't think he knows, although earlier on, when I actually had time to play, I do believe it's just kind of saw the timer on it. Not like the exact seconds by timer, but like just thereabouts. You saw like a bar or something, like how much is timed out. I'm not too sure even. I've been casting for so long and playing so little that it's hard to say, but we're gonna fight more. Fire Blast gets the multi-cast illusion. No Dream Coil even needed for this. Alucard tries to go for maybe something. There's the charge to go to Miracle gonna come in as well. They're gonna get the finally, so my god. Stampede won't. They force out the Stampede with this. So it's not all that bad. I mean, you kill off the Battle Rider, you force out the Stampede, and only your Ogre dies. Of course you don't want anybody to die, but it's a pretty fine trade if you're just CSW at this point. Paulson, of course, he was getting so close to the blink there. He's still pretty close, but it could have been faster. Let's just put
Radiant's
it like that.
middle tower is under attack.
Now Tranquil Boots also done on Ogre, and of course having the multicast rather early on, such a huge thing for you. Freedom also
Radiant's
level 5,
bottom
whereas
tower
what that
is under
supports the first
attack.
departure at Lobby. Well, almost level 4, so I guess not that bad. And he's the only support for them at this point. Blink Dagger now done on Batrider. With that, maybe they can set up a few kills for Kai as well on the center.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now though, change mid lane. Still ahead in net worth of Miracle. Blasted twice is
Radiant's
about 14
bottom
behind,
tower
but
is under attack.
he's got the kill. Been
Radiant's
a part of
bottom
3
tower
kills, 2
has
last hits for
fallen.
them. Doesn't matter that much. In the meantime, Musica brings down a tier 1 tower just because nobody's on the bottom lane. Centaur slowly but surely making his way there. Doesn't want to use the TP, but Freedom, he's getting charged. Probably gonna get enough support to teleport themselves. Swap out, want to follow on the stun as well, but he gets the blink out before the stun actually lands. But Fire Blast into lobby. Will they have enough musical? Will they close enough for the point attack? Try to go for the TP out, then goes them. Buy some time and Magic himself. Just not there in time. Now Miracle comes in with us. But the blink has so much against the Miracle minus time.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they get the kill on Freedom, but musical brings down the race. Off the mech now as well. Had to off the mech earlier, maybe meant for will survive as well. But now Hana, he gets stunned. Loser connects. Don't need the dream for once again. Can they go for follow or not?
Radiant's
Yes,
middle
they
tower
sure as
has
hell can.
fallen.
And once again, first departure, just everything is going sour for them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Make kill scoring in the mid lane. Chain's got the tower. He's getting charged now by the Spirit Breaker, but there is nobody even in his close vicinity to help out lobby. So this
Dire's
just
bottom
isn't
tower
working out
is
at
under
all for
attack.
first departure. I mean, if they had a blink on center, maybe they could start
Radiant's
making
top
just a little bit
tower
more
is under
happen. But
attack.
they're just falling so far behind before that. I mean, Ogre Magi almost has the same farm that the center does.
Generation.
As he's solving now, gonna be flying it out to himself.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now, whoa. For a second I thought like, what? Somebody brings in, but it's a 2D friendly neighborhood puck. Plasma Field does quite a nice job in just counter pushing this. As well as doing some damage to 2D at the same time, but since he has the bottle, he's gonna be just fine. Can finish up power threads soonish if he wants to, or, well, rather he can purchase them up immediately if he wants to. But maybe he wants to just save up for a Hand of Midas, for example. Lots of hot players go for Blink into Midas. Sometimes his power threads finish as well, but you might as not well delay out the Hand of Midas even longer. Or might be going for like straight of Yule Scepter and leave the boots open for Boots of Travels later on. But last time he's even and he's gonna die. There's gonna be the charge coming in. Miracle came also to help out with the plasma field. But there's only support over the tie. Chainstone did pop the ultimate. I guess they wanted to turn maybe things around. Music now on the top lane pushing that one out. It is the last tier 1 tower standing, so you might as well have one hero there constantly. And Viper maxed out corrosive skin, mech, power threads as well. He is just so durable that he can maybe even escape after they jump on him. Just put the corrosive skin stun and everything.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Whoa, they get the kill bottom lane, my bad.
Radiant
Center goes
structures
down
are
once again. He
fortified.
does get the blink there anyway though, so that's gonna be huge for them. As tier 1 tower top lane might just find his demise here, might crumble to dust. That looks like that's exactly what will happen.
Radiant's
Musica
top tower
even gets
has
the last
fallen.
for another 2.2k gold. Echo Storm keeps him in place for a little while. In the end, doesn't really matter, and even he went for the Hand of Midas. 2D picks up his own as well. Surprising that Change didn't go for one, to be honest, in this case, but I guess you can get them this early. I mean, Viper, he already has the mech and power thread, so it's actually a pretty huge item, and with this you can follow up towards other bigger items like Monkey King Bar somewhere along the way. Just next Aghanim, Heart of Thrash, just be extremely tanky. AC maybe even on the Viper. Probably AC will be what Lycan will be next maybe, or unless he wants to go for
Dire's
BKB for
middle
example.
tower is under attack.
But the charge is going out, they're going to go on. Freedom, Jade's no ultimate for him, but the blink stun misses, so Freedom, he's going to be against the Nether Strut towards top lane as well. Magic Missile buys some more time. Couldn't make his way to the Heatstone though, unfortunately, but now the turnaround is coming.
Dire's
They
middle
want to go
tower
for some
is
counter
under
kills.
attack.
He's around, he's at before the jump. There's the big fire back up, follows him right to follow Hana. He gets him over the ball. So Hana is going to win the right field, like it's going to get slowed down. He just comes in with one. And he's just gonna get stunned. There's a multi-kill goes to the first. Kai gonna go for the hoof point. He's in a lot of trouble. Last is Miracle. Kai gonna go down. Miracle pretty much falls at the exact same time. 2D is gonna blink forward, but the only one to survive is gonna be Lobby on the Spirit Breaker, this fat space cow. So they're going to go for Notion next. Minus Hammer is there already. No Medallion of Courage quite yet, although is it flying out for him? No, it's not, but it's no, this is an extra 2. For a second I was like, oh man, is it really already? But
Roshan has fallen to the
he
dark.
doesn't get the last hit. But still only 200 gold away for the next level 3, 16 minutes in. That is some crazy timing. And of course the Midases will start paying off before I think First Departure can just regain their footing. As a 1k lead, or what 1k, what I'm saying, a 10k network lead almost for CSW already. XP is at 10k, and now actually as the network graph updates, it's also 10. So we're only 60 minutes in, they have a 10k lead in both aspects of the game. And of course, they're also getting the map control. Tier 2s are still standing, but they have already claimed all the Tier 1s. And now 2D with the haste rune, with the backup of Godot on this Ogre Magi, the lovable Ogre. They're trying to look for some kills. Never mind, just gonna place down a ward and go for Tier 2 bottom instead. Whereas First Departure, they're struggling to get a single tower even so far. Man, things are not gonna be easy for them. And that's Necro level 3 delivered out to Chains now. There is no defending this tier 2, I think, or well, if they're trying to defend,
Radiant's
they might just get
tower
wiped.
is under
As the
attack.
Spirit comes through from the Elder Titan, 2 points into Natural Wonder, not that great, but Plasma Field is there as well, but the
Radiant
Wolf and Necro will
structures
still
are
keep on going.
fortified.
Glyph is forced, Echo Stomp lands on Musica, but 2D, he's still on the back lines, has his double damage room bottled up, has the ultimate lobby, cancels his charges, which goes well. There's no proper follow-up, I guess. They're really lacking some AoE, just setup, maybe even AoE damage. They have lasso,
Dire's
it's
top
excellent.
tower
I
is
guess
under
best
attack.
AoE is just boost on bit double edge. Oh, there's the lasso coming out in the back line. He goes down before the tree, so that's a huge jump. He's got coming back. He just completely melts. It's way too much damage. Does push back 3 and Musica. He's gonna lose his life. Nice stuff. Moves from 1 second goal. He's gonna burn in the Firefly Chains. He's still alive, but for how long? There's the shapeshift ending. Echo Stomp lands on Music as well. Chains still alive, but not for too long. Kai comes back in. Gonna double edge, but dies straight after himself. Musica gonna go for Colossus as well, and will succeed. So triple kill for Musica. But that was Aegis lost. So pretty much it was a 5-for-5 trade, with the exception of the Aegis being there on Musica. So taking that into consideration, a pretty good fight for First Departure, because breaking even against such a huge lead is going to be extremely hard. As Musica, he gets charged now, but he's up to 4k
Double
gold.
damage.
4 freaking K. Like what? How the hell? And what did he purchase up just now? Yeah, it's going to be the Aghanim Scepter next, so gonna be even tankier. So next time around, it's gonna be a hell of a lot harder for them to bring him down. Like and pinch stuff, power threads, extra attack speed, extra tankiness of course as well at the same time. But a pretty good fight nonetheless for First Departure, all things considered. Putra was now down on Polosan as well. Aluka actually found some pretty nice hoof stomps there as well. And yes guys, this is elimination. Whoever loses this best of 3 will be out. How much would that with the lasso? Hoof stomp of edge. Oh, the match is still alive. Can he escape this though? Trying to outrun the flame. So far he succeeds. And they get it out of
Was most welcome.
Urn of Shadows onto 2D as well. Still has a couple of bottle charges if need be. Aghanim Scepter delivered out. Or not delivered yet, but Hana, he gets
Radiant's top tower
nice
is
force
under
that gets him to
attack.
safety completely out after that. Even Lobby was outside.
Radiant's top
His
tower has
services were not
fallen.
entirely necessary.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But with the Necrobook activated, they get the kill back into the tier 2 already as well. Echo Stomp pretty nicely landed, but don't think it's going to be enough to save the defend
Radiant's
the
top
heroes
tower
respawning,
has
although
fallen.
as good as the beat, but never mind, it's just way too
Radiant's
fast of a
top
push
barracks has fallen.
coming out. So that's going to be the burst of attacks, 20 minutes in. And
Radiant's
looking at
top
First
barracks
Departure lineup,
has fallen.
what the hell do they have to deal with Mega Creeps? Especially this early on. They are rather screwed. They want to go for him once again. He's still alive. Gets the loser up. Gets over the there. But he's still dying.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Stampede is there. There's the last one. Double. Hook jump. Double. He's alive, but not for too long. Go down to the poison damage. Gains. He's on the run for 3 seconds for the shapers. Might just wait it out as the wolf. If Aluka had gone into those G's, Frog would have died. But Chains, he pops his ultimate. He wants to, never mind, just
Dire's
wants to
middle
escape,
tower
I guess.
is under attack.
So that fight, in the end, was not too bad at all. I mean, Miracle was so close to dying, but Stampede came off cooldown just in time, but they still lost tracks. So that's really all that matters. I mean, it's not like they completely wiped out the side of CSW with your first departure. But looking at the graphs again, they have tipped down a little bit, but still a solid 11.5k lead for net worth. I'd say it's still a 10k lead as well, a little bit less, but it's near enough 10k. So CSW still just holding a pretty massive advantage considering it's 20 minutes into the game, and with the heroes that they have and the Midases that they have running, I would still give them a late game advantage as well here, for sure, pretty much, with the Bloodlust and Vengeance helping them out even more. At one point, Ogre will also find himself bagging himself if the game drags on long enough, or at least he usually does. Oh. 13 to 26. Exactly doubling the kill score of first departure. CSW looking good, but guys, if you're fans of first departure, do not fret yet. This is a best of 3, but CSW, if they continue with such a performance in game number 2, it's going to be definitely hard. Of course, having said that, the draft of first departure definitely didn't feel too whole to begin with. Just the laning phase wasn't, I mean, it wasn't solid. That's really the best way to put it, I think. But now, Echo Storm does not connect on anybody. Still some nice scouting going on, but they have to TP back just to defend against the lane. Also, of course, since he has the booster travels, it's easiest for him to do so, but even the booster travels still have a cooldown, and for the rest of the duration, first departure have to back off. BKB now done on Miracle. Gonna be great, for sure, but they might not care too much as Viper Strike came up anyway. And if Lycan actually has uptime on you with the right clicks, he chews through people, and so if you're slowed down by the Viper Strike, that might be the perfect time for change. And of course they also have the Dream Coil, and well, there is that one BKB, but that's the only BKB. Woody, he's gonna go for Dream Coil. He's gonna get tuned up now, but somebody blocks Musica. He gets the last auto change as well. Nice swap out. So in the end, it's a 3-4-1 trade change. He dropped pretty low, so first departure, if their early game had gone a little bit better, they would have been able to just win quite a couple of fights here. I mean, they're executing the fights fairly well, just kiting and
Radiant's
stunning
middle
and
tower is under attack.
just choosing the correct positions to fight.
Radiant structures are fortified.
CSW cannot really do damage. But in the end, they're just so far behind that they do not have what it takes.
Radiant's
I mean, the
middle
Viper
tower
with the
has
12-second
fallen.
level 3 Viper Strikes, that in itself does so much damage, but of course, since it slows you down, it opens up to the rest of the team to also do damage to those heroes. So 14 to 29. Roshan isn't gonna be up for another minute and a half. Of course, first departure, or CSW rather, they don't know the exact timer. But Godot, the charge is on him. He's been trying to do something pretty much the entirety of this game. But that something most of the time just has not worked. Look at the graphs again. XP still about the same. Network more or less as well. So they're not pulling too much farther ahead, but the one Rax advantage will always be in the back of first departure's mind. But the charge is coming on to Musica now. Are they going to really follow up with this? They are close enough for the big last on immediate swap on freedom. He was so ready to clean for him. We don't love it though. And high Gumble with the next one. I cannot get this now. But they don't want to ignite the follow. Giant with the PKB. Might just through one. Gonna go for the other one. Physical damage can bring him to the over. Now that the natural ball is down and the side is there. Taking the now he's one thing to go for change. Why didn't he top the mech keeps him alive? And this is GG for that fight. Was just backbreaking. They didn't even kill the punk off. 5-4-0. Good game, CSW. End game number 1 with just great passion. 25 minutes in, forcing first departure to just tap out. So guys, this was game number 1 in this best of 3 series of the round of 16 for the Southeast Asian IED qualifiers. Whoever wins the qualifiers well, he's gonna have to win 3 more best of 3s after this round, first of all, but also he's gonna just have to